What if the most revolutionary feature in the upcoming Hasselblad X2D II isn't that massive 100-megapixel sensor? And what if its most controversial feature or lack thereof is actually its greatest strength? For years, the name Hasselblad has stood for one thing: the uncompromising pursuit of the perfect photograph. It's always been about a slow, deliberate, and pure form of art. But now, in a world full of hybrid cameras trying to do everything for everyone, the rumors swirling around Hasselblad's next camera suggest they're not just sticking to their guns, they're doubling down. And we've dug through the leaks, the registration filings, and the insider whispers to expose what could be the most important camera for pure photographers in a decade. The real question is, are these rumored upgrades enough to justify a price that will almost certainly be in the five-figure range? Let's break it down. The legend and the leaks. To really get what Hasselblad is doing, you have to look at where they are now. The current X2D II is already considered by many to be the best camera for pure photography money can buy. It's a work of art that takes incredible photos. But time stops for no camera, and recent leaks point to a successor, a Mark II, that isn't just a minor refresh, it's a fundamental shift in what a medium format camera can do. The rumors paint a picture of a camera that looks and feels like the Hasselblad we know and love, that solid, minimalist block of aluminum that feels more like an extension of your hand than a piece of tech. But inside that familiar shell, two secrets are hiding. One is a piece of technology that could finally drive medium format autofocus into the modern era. The other is a choice so bold, so defiantly out of sync with the entire industry, that it could only come from Hasselblad. This isn't just a new model, it's a statement. The body of a familiar soul with a new mind. Let's start with what you can actually hold. The first thing any Hasselblad owner will tell you about is the feel. That cold, dense metal. The deeply satisfying clunk of the shutter. The perfectly weighted dials. The leaks all suggest that this core experience isn't going anywhere. If anything, it's getting even better. Whispers point to an improved, high-resolution tilting screen, which is a huge deal for anyone who's ever had to lay in the mud to get that perfect low-angle shot. More importantly, they suggest the addition of a new joystick for moving the focus point and more customizable buttons. These might sound like small tweaks, but for a working photographer, they are massive quality-of-life upgrades. They show a real understanding of how photographers actually work, shaving precious seconds off in the field, which can be the difference between nailing the shot and missing it completely. It's the classic Hasselblad way: take an iconic design and polish it, not for show, but for function. The secret weapon: LiDAR autofocus exposable right. Now for the bombshell. For decades, the deal with medium format was simple. You got reality-bending image quality, but you had to deal with autofocus that was, let's call it, contemplative. It was a compromise most artists were willing to make. But what if that compromise is now off the table? The most explosive rumor is the integration of a LiDAR autofocus system. Yes, the same laser-based mapping technology found in self-driving cars and high-end gimbals from Hasselblad's parent company, DJI. Instead of just analyzing light through the lens, LiDAR actively builds a 3D map of the scene by firing out laser pulses. The leaks claim this system will have a mind-boggling 76,800 ranging points. To put that in perspective, the current X2D II has 294. This isn't just an upgrade, it's a complete reinvention of how the camera sees. The promise here is autofocus that could rival, or even beat, the best full-frame cameras from Sony or Canon, especially in low light where traditional systems fall apart. This is what medium-format portrait and event shooters have been dreaming of: the power to track a subject with speed and precision, without giving up a single drop of that legendary image quality. It's a total game-changer. The heart of the image beyond 100 megapixels. So 100 megapixel sensor isn't new for Hasselblad, but the megapixel count is never the whole story. The real magic being rumored for the X2D II is the sheer quality of the data in every single one of those 100 million pixels. Leaks point to a new BSI-CMOS sensor that keeps the headline feature of true 16-bit color depth. If you're not a numbers person, let me put it this way: the standard high-end camera with 14-bit color captures around 4 trillion colors. Sounds like a lot, right? Well, a 16-bit sensor captures 281 trillion. That is not a typo. It's 64 times more color information. In the real world, this means impossibly smooth and natural transitions. Think of a sunset. In a 14-bit file, you might see subtle, ugly banding where orange fades to red. With 16-bit color, that gradient is as flawless as reality itself. It means you can go absolutely wild in post-production, pushing and pulling colors without the image breaking apart. Combine that with a rumored 15 stops of dynamic range and Hasselblad's famous natural color solution, and you get images that aren't just detailed, but are alive in a way that's hard to put into words. It's that signature color and tone that has made Hasselblad a legend for generations. If you're finding this breakdown of imaging tech useful, and you want to master the art of color no matter what camera you're shooting with, take a second to check out my custom preset pack at the link in the description. It's designed to bring that rich, nuanced, cinematic quality to your own work. Now, let's get to the most controversial part of this camera. Let's talk about the feature Hasselblad is almost certainly leaving out. The controversy: why no video is a feature, not a flaw in a world that demands hybrid cameras. All signs are pointing to the X2D II having absolutely no video recording capabilities. 0. To a hybrid shooter, this sounds like insanity. To a Hasselblad purist, it sounds like heaven. This wouldn't be an oversight, it's a deliberate choice. A philosophy. By cutting out video entirely, Hasselblad would be freeing the camera to do one thing perfectly: take pictures. The entire user interface can be built for photographers, with no cluttered video menus in the way. All of the processing power is dedicated to handling those enormous 16-bit RAW files, not to compressing video. There are no compromises made for heat dissipation or battery life just to accommodate video features. This is the clearest dividing line between Hasselblad and its main rival, Fujifilm's GFX series. The GFX 102 is a fantastic hybrid camera, offering great video features next to its high-resolution sensor. For many people, it's the more logical camera. But Hasselblad is betting there's a market of dedicated artists who don't want a logical compromise. They want a specialized instrument. By saying no to video, Hasselblad is screaming yes to an unfiltered and compromising photography experience. It's a bold gamble that its biggest supposed weakness is actually its most profound strength. The insane upgrades, IBIS, and workflow beyond the big, flashy features. The other rumored specs show a camera that's built for the real world. The in-body image stabilization, or IBIS, is reportedly getting a boost to an incredible 8 stops of compensation. When you're shooting with 100 megapixels, every tiny vibration is magnified and can ruin a shot. Having 8 stops of stabilization is the difference between needing a tripod and getting a tack-sharp image handheld. And then there's the workflow. The X2D II is expected to keep the brilliant built-in 1TB SSD right alongside a CAF Express Type B card slot. Just think about that, being on a critical shoot and never worrying about running out of space on a memory card. It's one less thing to carry, one less thing to worry about, and one less point of failure, letting you stay completely in the creative zone. Conclusion: who is this for? The verdict. So, after digging through all the leaks, we're back where we started. Is the Hasselblad X2D II the ultimate photographer's camera? Or is it a gorgeous, expensive relic in a world that demands versatility? The truth is, it's not for everyone. And that's exactly the point. This isn't a camera for a run-and-gun YouTuber. It's not for the wedding videographer who needs a hybrid workhorse. This is a camera rumored to be built for the methodical artist, the fine art printer who loses sleep over color gradations, the landscape photographer who will wait hours for the perfect light and needs every last drop of dynamic range to capture it, the studio portrait artist who needs absolute faith in their autofocus and the most beautiful color science on the planet. The groundbreaking light or autofocus, the jaw-dropping 16-bit color, and the defiant lack of video all point to one single-minded vision. Hasselblad isn't building a camera to compete with everyone else. It seems they're building a camera for the photographers who felt left behind by the hybrid revolution. They are building a Hasselblad. And for that specific, passionate group of creators, that's everything. What do you think? Is LiDAR the future for all high-end cameras? Is the lack of video a deal breaker or a genius move? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear them. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure you're subscribed and have that notification bell clicked so you don't miss our full, hands-on review the second this camera becomes official. Thanks for watching.